Well, all right. Welcome, everybody. Another episode of Legends Sports Amplify. We're here about once or twice a week talking baseball, baseball history, Negro League baseball history, the minor leagues, collecting art, you name it, whatever your passions and pursuits are with the great sport of baseball. And I'm really happy to have on today from the Alec Bohm Foundation, Dan Bohm. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing good. It is really cool to see when I asked you where you're at, what you are doing. And we'll talk about it. I think it's awesome. But like I said, I'm really happy to have you on today because I started doing these conversations at first, like I mentioned to you, to try to raise some awareness around the history of baseball, black baseball, Negro League baseball history, the Negro League Baseball Museum. But as I started doing these, I started stepping on all sorts of other things that people have a lot of passion for. And I am a Philly sports fan my entire life, even though I've been out of the area for a long, long time. And I have been following Alex's career ever since they drafted him, even before that, because I'm a college baseball fan as well. So it's been great to see, and I've grown to really, like I said, I am a fan, not just of the Phillies, but I am an Alec Bohm fan now, especially after this year. So it's great, and thank you for taking the time of doing this. So tell us before we get started on his journey to where we are today, your journey, because you're sitting there and you're actually traveling around watching him play, right?
Yeah, I'm sitting in a bus. We sold our house this last year, kind of crazy real estate market. So take advantage of it, and we bought a Prevost bus. So we travel around and watching him play and kind of enjoying life right now.
That's awesome. So you're somewhere you set off the Philly Turnpike somewhere right now.
Yeah, we're over in Clarksboro, New Jersey, just about 10-15 minutes from Citizens Bank Park. So it's just an easy drive over, and we
Awesome.
drove up to New York, catch the Mets game, last three up there, and now we're waiting for tonight.
Tonight they're playing the Rangers, right?
Yep,
Texas for a
yep,
couple of games. Yeah. So
yeah.
hopefully they. It seems like they're starting to turn things around. The Mets. I'm not a big Mets fan. Growing up in Northeast PA. I got kind of spoiled. You probably know it just from you're doing your drives, but I got really spoiled because you're only a couple of hours from Philadelphia, New York to go see the Mets and the Yankees. Boston's only a few hours further north. Pittsburgh, Baltimore. There were so many places I could go to go see a baseball game. Now the Nationals are there as well. So yeah, it was a great place to grow up, and you get them all on the radio because when I was a kid,
Yeah,
you listened to, you watched everything on the radio. So that
yeah.
was kind of the way it
Weren't
was.
those the days?
What's that?
I said, weren't those the days?
Right? I mean, yeah, it's that's I really appreciate. I've had on several announcers and people who have done broadcasting and others and play by play and everything else as well to talk to them. I love the experience. It brings back a lot of memories when I talk to people that are doing that. So it's very very cool what you're doing. Being able to have the opportunity to do that, drive around, see him play in some of these stadiums, it's got to be a lot of fun. It's got to be a lot of fun.
Well, it's a dream come true for us as well as for him being able to play. So we're
I bet.
enjoying it.
I bet. So like I said, I had kind of got on his career on the radar, being a college sports fan as well and playing when he was at Wichita State. But
It's shocking.
yeah, but obviously even before that, he was on college radars and even on pro radars even before that. Tell us a little bit about Alex's journey to the major leagues in the Phillies.
Well, I mean, it all starts in the backyard, like with a lot of kids. He was young and had a passion for baseball. So growing up, he played some other sports when he was little, and then once he got to high school, pretty much devoted his time to baseball. And he went to Roncalli Catholic High School in Omaha,
Hmm.
a smaller Class B school. Um, and then he traveled around in the summer with a travel team called the Sluggers, and had a great coach on that, Johnny Graves and Steve Russell. So then we went around and played at a lot of the different colleges, Arkansas, Wichita, Kansas State, Kansas, and kind of got exposure because when you're a kid from the Midwest, you not a lot of college or pro scouts busting. up to Omaha, Nebraska to watch you play in March and April.
Right.
So you kind of got to go to them, and that's what we did. And, um, Coach Butler saw him play a few times, and Coach Butler was at Arkansas at the time, and then he got the head coaching job at Wichita State when they hired a new coach after their longtime guy. And so he was Alec's coach in college, and he's a really good coach, and he got him to where he wanted to be. So, and
Awesome.
now here we are.
And how about you and Lisa? You guys have to have been baseball fans. It doesn't just it gets in your blood being baseball, but you have to you probably played a little bit, right? How did you
Yeah, we both grew up in smaller towns in Nebraska than Omaha, so wasn't a lot of it's you were in high school, you played sports, and then you get out of high school and you either go to college or you go get a job and join the real world. So that kind
right.
of was our path.
Hmm.
Uh, he was blessed with some very good eyes, so he just kind of took it from there. And tell you what, he worked his tail off and sacrificed a lot over the years to be able to get to where he's at. So, I,
Absolutely.
a lot of kids are going to the graduation party. Well, excuse me, we got out of graduation, ran home, loaded up the car, and he went to a pro draft day in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So
Hmm.
that was his college or high school graduation party.
Wow. Yeah, that is the life of when you devote yourself to it, right? I can only imagine all the miles that you probably put on traveling around from how old was he when you first started playing?
Oh, I think when he first picked up a bat, he was probably like 5, something like that, and just hitting off a tee and into a screen and those kinds of things. And we kind of found early on that he had pretty good eyes because we had a little drill that we did with a dowel stick and BBs, and I tossed BBs to him.
Ah,
He was able to hit with that dowel stick and BBs at like 5, 6 years old. So
very cool.
he had pretty good eyes, and the rest is his hard work and a lot of blessings from the good Lord above.
I bet. Boy, it's interesting that you just told that little story because Roberto Clemente, as the story goes, and I've had on a couple of experts on him as growing up as a kid, and even as he got older, hitting bottle caps and little rocks with a wasn't even a bat, it was just a stick, but all that hand-eye coordination. I get it, yeah, that it doesn't seem like it is part of it, but yeah, it really is. It trains the eyes, the coordination. Yeah, it's important.
Can't hit what you can't see, so
That's exactly right.
it's
So you put on
hard
a
enough to hit with these guys these days. There's some great pitchers out there.
Absolutely. So you guys have put on a lot of miles over the years, and then now as he's gotten into this pipeline, now he's with the Phillies now, but boy oh boy, he's been several collegiate summer leagues, coming up through the minors, Team USA as well, right? He played with. Did you have any opportunity to go see him play in any of these other leagues or games or not?
Well, we didn't on Team USA, but in his summer leagues, it's his freshman summer, he went to the Coastal Plains League and played with the Wilmington Sharks, and we were able to go there and watch him play. And he had a great host family there. Mark and Brooke Sumner are still good friends today, and they actually help out with the foundation and do
Cool.
some volunteer work and things like that for us. Got to go up to the Cape and watch him play a little bit.
Cool.
So, um,
Boy,
and
oh boy.
in Wilmington, he had a coach you'll probably remember that Scott Wingo he played for North Carolina. He was College World Series MVP one year.
Hmm.
So he's got to learn a little bit from him. And then I see, the Cape League, and that's a pretty good league out there as well.
Boy, I think it's beautiful that you guys are able to do what you're doing right now, sitting there in a travel home and being able to see him
That's
play. I
Aaron, our
mean, that is fantastic. I think it's
there's a
great.
lot of fun
Holy
setting
cow.
up out here. So,
Boy, oh boy, that's like the ultimate road trip, I can tell you. But, there's a lot of these guys that are, What's that?
Beats hotels.
I bet, right? I mean,
You
yeah,
know, the
absolutely.
lifestyle of being in hotels, and that just gets old after a while.
I mentioned to you before we got started, I wanted to put this to rest for anybody who's might have caught this the other day, but Joe Girardi was questioning my sanity the other day when he kept saying in an interview about Alec Bohm, Alec Bohm, Alec Bohm. I'm like, it's not Bohm, it's
No,
Bohm, right? And so, you know,
it
I'm
is
not sure you're
all.
gonna have next time you talk to Coach Girardi, you're gonna have to tell him, unless he was doing that as a joke. I'm not sure. It didn't sound like it though, because he did
Well,
it,
I
in
think
conversation
he
several
probably,
times.
yeah, he probably just pronounces that way. I don't know. Maybe.
It's got a nice ring to it, because he hits some bombs over the years for sure. But
Well, he runs his bat into a few of them. He's capable.
and I
So,
and I also mentioned to you, I put something out on Twitter. This is long before I even had reached out to you about we were all Alec Bohm. We've all been Alec Bohm after that night that he had with a couple of errors, and fans got on him, and he said what was on his mind. I've said that same thing about Philadelphia. I've said that same thing about Houston. Oh, you're not doing it for any reason other than you're venting the same frustration that people are feeling. But the way he handled it, I thought was beautiful, and I became more of a fan after that because, like I said, I even put it out on Twitter. I said, we are all Alec Bohm at some point during the day. So, yeah, the way he did it was great. Yeah, hats off to him because what did you think when that was all going on?
well, we didn't know anything about it until later that night after it was all over. And I get a text and a couple of text messages about it. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And somebody sent me the video, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Um, but it is what it is. I mean, he had a
Right?
rough night, and fans being fans, they want everybody to always perform. And as a player, they want to always perform. But
Mhm.
you and I, we we don't live out our jobs in front of 40,000 people every day.
Right?
These
Every
guys,
single breath they take is being recorded and
yeah,
analyzed,
and
and oh my
he
goodness,
did.
yeah.
He got frustrated and
Yeah.
said it, and he owned up to it. He said, "Yeah, I said it."
Mhm.
But, I've said it. I get stuck in traffic, or you
Yeah, we
know,
all have. Yes. Yes. And
well,
like I said,
people kind of relate to him. I think maybe a little bit more.
so yeah, and I became more of a fan. But when they drafted him a couple of years ago, being a Phillies fan, we've been waiting since 2000 and what 2020 years almost since they had Scott Rowland, and before that, Mike Schmidt. It's been a long time since we had somebody who at third base. Not that there weren't some good players who played there. There were some good players who played there, but somebody who would be considered somebody you could build around and become a long-time Philadelphia Philly. I think he's on his way. I hope he sticks around. So he's a young guy, and he's doing something very very cool with the Alec Bohm Foundation. So tell us a little bit about how that came about, and then we'll talk about what you guys are doing with it.
Well, he started it in 2019 after he got drafted,
Wow,
and we've just kind of grown it a little bit. We didn't do a ton of things when he was in the minors. We've helped out his high school and a baseball team there, and got him some equipment and things like that. And then it's just kind of grown, a little bit. But it's our belief and his belief that there's when you're blessed, you need to try and be a blessing to others.
hmm
So through this foundation, we're able to reach out and help people locally. Covenant House in Philadelphia,
cool,
we've helped them. We've donated some funds to them. We want to do more with those. Nemours, we've done some things with them. Um, I mean, a lot of them. I mean, Tunnels to Towers. We've partnered with them, and we help them. We do quite a bit of mission work over in Africa as well, and we've done a couple well projects over there for villages, dug wells, and orphanages. We helped an orphanage over there. Uh, we helped a church back in Nebraska, do some remodel work. It's a small little church, and got some new carpet and some flooring and new chairs and things. So um, we just try and help where we can, where we see a need, and thankfully we've got a lot of people that go on and buy some game used stuff, or through their donation and the purchase price, we're able to pool funds. We have some people that donate on their birthdays, and they'll give a couple $100 and we'll match that through the foundation. So we turn that 200 into 400, and then we'll give it to the charity that they designate that they want to give it to. Um, so I mean, we're growing, and we're hoping we can continue to grow and reach out and help more folks and things.
Absolutely. So how do people, okay, so first of all, it's alecbohmfoundation.org. And I
Right.
know you can go on there. You can check out some of the game used and other of his memorabilia, signed, equipment, gloves. I saw all sorts of things on there that are very, very cool items that if people are collectors and are fans of the Phillies and of Alex. But how else do you raise funds? Can people donate? Are there other ways? What else can they do?
Yep, people can donate. We'd love to partner with them, have them donate. You can just go to the webpage, go to the foundation, alecbohmfoundation.org. There's a donate button. You can just click on there. You can make it a one time. You can make it a recurring. Then you can designate the charity that you want it to go to. We've got several listed. We've got Nemours, we've got Covenant House, um, Tunnels to Towers, Wounded Warriors, I think, is on there.
Hmm.
We've got Divine
Ah,
Grace on there. Or if you have one that you'd rather donate to, you can click other, or you can just put it into the general, and then we'll use it on one project that we're doing. We'll have another well project probably coming. We try and do one well project a year. We've done two of them, excuse me, over in Uganda, and we'll probably do another one this year, I would imagine. So we'll have that going on. And like I said earlier, we'd like to partner a little bit more with Covenant House and the kids, and try and see if we can, maybe break a life cycle with
hmm.
them, and try and get something positive going there.
I you just mentioned Wounded Warrior Project. I just was speaking week before last with a group here in Houston. They're called Cosmic Pro, and they partner with I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they partner with Wounded Warrior Project, Oxfam, Doctors Without Borders, lots of different charities and groups like that. Next time I talk to them, I will mention, you know, you guys and see if
Yeah,
somebody from them could reach out to you guys and see what they can do, because I know that they do work with a number of nonprofits. They're a nonprofit as well that
right.
are working on all kinds of very, very cool projects. And do you network with other groups like this? I know Aaron Judge has a similar type the Aaron Judge Foundation. I think he has, and there's a couple more. I mentioned to you about Steve Pendar. I talked to a few weeks back with Roberto's kids. Do you network with any of those groups like that?
No, to date we haven't. We've, it's fairly new, 2019, so it's just a few
Mm-hmm.
years old. But um, we we've really just kind of done things, I guess, on our own, where we see
Right.
need, uh, kind of go that direction, and then with the help of a lot of people out there that go on and I said, through their donation, the purchase of paraphernalia items, bats, used bats, jerseys, those kinds of things. We're able to raise more funds to partner and go do things, because we'll usually match a lot of the different funds that come in.
Cool.
So we can turn 200 into 400, 500 into 1,000. We can
Mm-hmm.
kind of add up that way.
Do you have you gone overseas to for some of these
No,
projects yourself?
no, the folks in Uganda would very much like to come over there and,
Right.
and, and visit them, and we haven't been over. Um, so maybe in the coming years we can get something planned to do that. But as
That
of
would be
now,
cool.
we've got a contact over there that's a missionary guy that sets all this stuff up. And then through Heritage Church in Omaha, Pastor Brad Riddle over there, he kind of are in between, and lines things up and makes sure things are done right. And there's not, our dollars are getting spent the best. So that's kind of
Hmm.
easy.
Well, I mean, that's very, very cool. And baseball, people don't think of it. I have people who I follow and who follow me as well that are from all over the world. There's baseball besides, I mean, besides just the United States, Latin America, and Canada, there's baseball being played all over the world. Some of it's kind of in its infancy, a little fledgling, play, but I
Yeah.
do have, there's a couple of national groups that are starting in Africa to start to grow baseball a little bit more. I think it'd be a worthwhile thing. I mean, yeah, I think if you went over there, that'd be some good PR for everybody. If he was able to ever go over there and do that, that'd be kind of cool, kind of cool.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's a different world. So,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely, yeah, no doubt.
from the project, and I mean, you see these little kids and mothers, and they're traveling miles just to get water.
Hmm.
Something that we take for granted. We go to the faucet, turn it on, or we go to the fridge and get a bottle of water. And they have to travel 5 miles each way to
Hmm.
fill up jugs with water to bring back for the day. So I
Hmm.
mean, that's it's kind of, we take a lot of things for granted here. That's for sure.
Hmm. No, no doubt. So that's there. What other parts of the world have you looked at doing things in other places as well?
No, Uganda, Africa area is primarily where we've been for mission work. Where there is some missionaries in Japan that we've done helped out a little bit with, but nothing like in Africa. I mean, we did the wells in Africa. We did. There's a single mother with 4 boys over there, and I mean, get this: we can send our kids to public schools over here, and we don't have to pay. If we want to send them to private, great, we can. We pay for private, but here public schools are free. Well, there you have to pay to go
Hmm.
to public school. Basically to go to a school. So, and they can't afford to pay for all 4 kids to go to school. She's a single mother,
Hmm.
and trying to raise those 4 boys. So, you know, the last couple of years, we pay their tuition for them through the foundation to be able to go to school, all 4 of them, and get them some clothes. And she, they have such small houses and things over there that they live in, and she had an outdoor kitchen that they would go to cook in, and the roof was falling in. I mean, it was just falling down. So, through contacts over there, we built her a new building outside with a roof on it, and so she has a place to go cook and not you know have
Hmm.
all the elements coming in on her when she's doing it. We helped remodel a church over there with new windows and things like that. Grace Divine Orphanage is over there, and they take care of a lot of orphan kids, and we help them out, and some food and shoes and clothing for the kids. So um, just seems to kind of been where we were kind of led, for lack of better, is over
Hmm.
to Uganda, Africa region.
It's interesting what you said about as far as Alex's career. Yeah, there is so much hard work that goes into it to get to the level that he's at. There's only, there's been less than 20,000, I think, ish. Now that they added the Negro League players in that have ever played in the history of baseball that have reached the major league level, and many of those are short term, cup of coffee kind of guys, few at bats. There's very, very few that make it and stick. It's a lot of hard work, but there's a lot of other things that go into it, right? There's the what you're born with, that God given ability, that hard
Yeah,
work, that work ethic. But then you got to have the interest, and you got to be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes, sometimes you're in an organization, you're not getting the right playing, you're not getting the playing time. Maybe things are not working out. So many factors that I think, boy, oh boy, Yeah,
Yep.
I'm just very, very cool to see when people make it to the level, and especially, like I said, a person, you guys, your family, to see that happen, it's got to be very, very cool. And now to watch this, whose idea was it? Was it Alex? Whose idea was it to start this foundation?
It was family. I mean, we
You guys
all
just
kind of sat down, and it's like,
because
here
it,
you are, and
I tell you what, it's something that yeah, so long-winded there, but my whole point was is that yeah, we do take a lot of things for granted here, and there's a lot of things that go into even what we see happening here, let alone what we have the advantages of other places in the world. So to see, someone take the initiative and pay that forward. And I think it was Roberto Clemente had that same saying. If you're not doing something to make the world a better place, then you're wasting your time here. So very, very cool to see. Is
yeah, I mean, that's kind of
is projects here in the states? Do you work on as well, or
well, uh, more in the states. What we've been doing is just to donate funds to organizations, like Tunnels to Towers and Wounded Warriors, Nemours Children's Hospital, the Covenant House. We did do a Wilmington Sharks where he played summer baseball just after his freshman year of college. We They got a thing they call Sharky's Kids, where they bring in 100 underprivileged kids. They give them a night at the baseball game, and give them a hot dog and drink, and they get to interact with the players and things. And the last couple of years, we took that on to where we we donate the funds so they can do that. And then last year, we had a little fundraiser one of the nights there, and we were able to raise, oh gosh, I think it was about $750 that night, and we matched it. So we were able to send $1,500, um, and we sent that out to. Gosh, let me see. I made some notes here. It was a uh, caring house in North Carolina. It's if you're not familiar with it, it's the people that are cancer patients and their families, and they need a place to stay. Caring house is a place where they can stay while they're in for treatment, and they don't have to have expensive hotels or food or whatever. They take care of everything for them. So we're able to send some money to that organization as well.
cool. Um, keep doing what you're doing. I think it's great. You guys are young at this. You've only been doing it a little while. It'll keep on growing. I'm sure as it'll grow the same way his career is going to grow from here on out too.
Well,
Yeah.
God willing, we hope so. We've got a lot of ideas we want to do, but we just kind of want to keep the horse in front of the cart and not get the cart in front of the horse, and just kind of grow as we go. I'm hoping in the next year or two we can get an annual golf tournament or golf outing going to help raise some funds, and get Alec and maybe some of his teammates or other players around the league to
Hmm.
join and raise some money that way for different organizations.
Yeah, I was going to
So,
ask you that. Does he make appearances at any of these, or I know he's
um,
probably a busy guy most of the time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when he's 7 8 months out of the year, he's pretty tight, and he doesn't take a lot of time off. I mean, he'll take 2 or 3 weeks at the end of the year, and he'll kind of unwind and rest his body a little bit, and then he's pretty much back at it, and he's either lifting or his off season with the lockout. He went to Houston and worked out with some other guys there and was able to keep going. So it's 3 weeks maybe off a year, and the rest of the time it's back to work.
Wow. Yeah,
But
and
that's
it
where we're
is
going.
work.
Do some more things.
And it is hard work. Let me tell you, it's
Oh,
it's a game. It's a
you-
game, but it's a lot of hard work to get there. Yeah.
yeah, and as a kid growing up, you're on travel teams in or little league or whatever, select baseball, and you're having fun, and you get to high school, and you're having fun, and you're usually one of the better guys on your team, and then you get to college, and it's like, wow, everybody's pretty good here. And then, if you have the opportunity to get drafted, you're just like, whoa, these
Hmm.
guys are really good.
Really good.
So, it takes so much inner strength to be able to keep going and just devote you've got to eat, breathe, and bleed baseball
Hmm.
to really to make the dream come true, I think.
You sure do. Let me ask you this about that, since you mentioned about the select teams. I used to coach high school baseball, a little bit at junior college. In between, I was coaching at various levels with my nephews, my brother's boys, as they were growing up from about 7, 8 years old all the way through into till they hit high school. And they were always able to play pony league, little league, that kind of thing. And then eventually you get into high school or you get into select. One of the things I'm seeing seems to be happening is the with the rise of all of these select and those types of groups, the everyday kind of pony leagues, and you mentioned about education in Africa. You have to pay even for public education. It's kind of the same principle. People who are playing on these little league teams and pony league teams and others now, if you don't have the money to be able to go play on a you know higher level or a travel ball team, you're kind of left out. What do you think about that? Because it seems like that's affecting things.
Yeah, I mean, from the area of the country that we're from, little league isn't really big there. I mean, they have some, but it's more the select organizations. And you're right. I mean, gosh, when he was playing, I think it's 1,500, 1,700 bucks
Hmm.
listen to play, and
Hmm.
that's not counting travel and everything else. That's just to be on the roster.
Hmm.
So um, it probably does cut a lot of opportunities out for kids that are less fortunate that the parents can't swing that. In our area, though, again, there were a lot of fundraising opportunities for
Right.
people that maybe either didn't want to write the check or you know would rather maybe the check was kind of tight to write.
Hmm.
So there were a lot of you could do a lot of fundraising stuff at different you know Quest Center in Omaha. You could work the concession stands. And,
Oh, okay. It's cool.
a lot of those things to raise money basically to pay for their son's playing time, or not playing time, but to be on the team.
I know if it was that way when I was a kid and I was playing baseball growing up in the 70s into the early 80s. Yeah, it would have been really tough for my parents to shell out. Of course, it wouldn't have been 1,700, but it would have been the equivalent of it back in
Well, yeah, back in
1970s. Yeah,
'70s money, yeah. I mean, it
in
just
70s money, it still would have pinched.
don't go.
So yeah, we wouldn't be talking today if that was the case in the 1970s right now, because you know what? My whole interest, I would not have had the opportunity to have baseball get into my blood the way it did.
Yep,
Excuse me, all those years, and it's kind of what happened. I mean, I was constantly. I mean, you know how it is. You get out of school and you're with your glove and you're down to the field and you don't come home on a Saturday or in the summertime. You're gone. My parents didn't know where I was, but they knew I
yep,
was probably playing baseball or basketball or something somewhere. So they weren't too worried. It was a small town, up in Northeast PA.
yep,
So it was good. They knew I was staying out of trouble. That was all that matters, right? Well, in a small
yeah.
town, small town, it's hard to get in trouble. Everybody knows you anyway, so you
Well, if
can't
you
go
do
very far.
something, your parents know about it before you get home.
Exactly. Yes, small town. If I ever did anything, they'd be waiting at the door when I got home. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
Hey,
yep,
growing up in Omaha had to be pretty nice as well though for him, right? Because he got the College World Series. Did you guys?
yep,
Yeah, I mean, he's grown up around that is a uh, that's the mecca of college baseball right there in Omaha, Nebraska. Did you guys
yep.
get to the World Series and things like that as a kid growing
Oh
up?
yeah, we usually take in a game or two. um, every year. And you know, when it was at the old Rosenblatt, that was those were the days. I mean, that was fun times there. The old RV place where all the Louisiana people would come up every year and fill out. Those were good times there. And then they moved it downtown, and it's not quite the same downtown, but a lot of people come every year for that, and it's a good time.
Cool.
You get to see a lot of good baseball, and unfortunately, Alec never got the opportunity to play in the College World Series, but um, you know, it's a good time, good thing to go to.
Hmm. So he's got two games. You got two games with the Rangers
Yep.
today and tomorrow. What? So what do you do when they're playing like on the West Coast? Like, what do you? Where do you don't drive out there too, do you?
Well, no, we didn't last year. We're probably not going to this year. They've got this last series here, and then we'll probably head down to Florida, spend a few days down there, and then we'll come back up here.
Wow.
Um, and get ready for the next series and Atlanta and things like that. We'll hit those at Pittsburgh, uh, you know, those around here and stuff. But yeah, it's like 3,000 miles, 2,800 miles from here to San Diego or LA.
Yeah, that's a haul. Yeah,
Yeah.
it took me to drive several years back from Houston back to just north of Philadelphia. That was 26 hours or something like that. I couldn't even do it straight shot. I had to stay halfway in Tennessee somewhere. I think I stayed. That's a haul. Yeah, that's a long way to go.
Yeah. Well, we did the Colorado series.
Oh wow.
We went out to Colorado, and that's pretty good drive. But we have some relatives. My wife's brother is out there, and his kids and stuff. So we went out there and had a lot of family to the games there. So that was a good thing. You got to play, see some of his other family, and
So
so yeah,
you
that's the haul.
so you have seen a lot of different ballparks. What's your favorite besides Philadelphia, of course? What's
Yeah, of course, Citizens Bank Park. City Field's a nice ballpark. It's crazy traffic to get there,
yeah.
we met some really nice families there, and Mets fans are Mets fans. But St. Louis, the Cardinals area around the stadium, their stadium is really nice. They've got that whole development around there. Of course, Cubs. I mean, Wrigley Field. That's a great place to go watch a ball game.
Never been
So
there yet. I'm dying to go to a game at Wrigley Field. One of these days I'll get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I tell you what, I remember last year when we played there, their fans. I think they were on like a 10, 11 game losing streak, and the place was sold out. It seemed to be anyway. It was looked full, and the seventh inning, Phillies are up like 10, 11 to nothing, and they get a base hit. They're cheering. Nobody left. I mean, they packed the park and they love their Cubbies. But
Cool.
Mile High, Denver's got a nice stadium. Rocky's got a nice place to play.
Yeah, I have heard. There's several people I know that live out that way to go to games all the time. They tell me I got to come and see a game there one day. One day. It's been tough the last couple of years with everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
Situation traveling around. I mean, my wife is from Guadalajara,
Oh,
Mexico originally. So
yeah.
we go down there. We go down there usually. She's a teacher, so we usually when she gets done with school at the end in June, she goes down. Grandparents are still down there. My kids' grandparents are still down there. Yeah, we usually go down for a couple of weeks, try to catch some baseball, but usually it's over by now. That's Winter League down there in Mexico.
Yep.
So yeah, but it's fun. It's a different atmosphere. You ever been to baseball in like the Dominican or any place like that?
Yeah. Alec, actually, gosh, how old was Alec? He went over there on a travel team and uh, and played in Puerto Rico.
Cool.
So I
Wow.
can't remember when that was, but I think he was
That,
probably about maybe right at high school age, maybe
boy,
right
that had to
before
be
high.
a great experience.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to play in the stadium that's got all the Roberto Clemente stuff in it, and you go from that big stadium to other parks that are just kind of like a park out of the park. Where I mean, one of them we're all mowing and raking the grass in the outfield before the game. So I mean, it's
Right.
like go from stuff to little stuff, and people coming, new players coming in, old players leaving. But it was a lot of fun.
I
Good
bet.
time.
I bet. So, like I said, I will definitely mention what you guys are doing to some people that I know. See if we can get you guys some more people. You know,
Yeah,
any kind of word you can get out there. It's a great cause. I think what you guys are doing are great. Alec Bohm Foundation.org. People can check it out, pick up some game used stuff, which is very very cool. See, you have other players on there as well, or just his stuff?
just his stuff. We've got there's a couple. I think I have two pair of batting gloves that are on there. The game used that are left on there. Um, Maybe a spring training bat. I need some new bats. Need to hit him up for some new game bats. And we do have some autographed jerseys on there. Yeah, I think we've got a baby blue one on there and a pinstripe.
Cool.
Uh, some baseballs and stuff like that. But I need to replenish a few things.
Yeah, cool. And think about it, right? I mean, this way, people that are into collecting, they're doing it for a good cause, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean
it's
we're 501c3 private foundation, so you know, however that works out in people's
yeah. So you get a little bit of
people
memorabilia.
better get
I think, like I
foundation.
said, I'm a fan. I think he's going to have a heck of a career as things shake out down the road. I hope he stays in Philly, but it's the world of modern sports, so who knows, right? I mean, things happen. People. It is what it is, right? It is. You know. So, but I
Be there
think
one day and you could be gone the next day. You
you
don't know.
could be. You just never know. But I think he's going to have a heck of a career. I love watching him play. I said I've been waiting since they traded Scott Rowland to to have someone playing third base. Not that there weren't some good players there. I'm not saying there weren't, but someone who I felt could be that next cornerstone. And I think he's right there. I love the team they have. I really do. I think people are underestimating the Phillies this year. If they once they start to put it together, um, they can hit top to bottom. There isn't an out in that lineup anywhere. I mean, no, there isn't. And if they can get any kind of pitching, I think they're going to be tough this year. So I hope they do it.
I mean, Castellanos and Schwarber. I mean,
Oh
man,
my goodness gracious!
those guys
Bryce
as
Harper plays like his Bryce Harper plays like his hair's on fire. I mean, every game. I mean, he's just so much fun to play. When they got him, I thought this is very very cool. But it's been a long time. They got to get in the playoffs. They haven't been there in a while. So we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah,
It's been a
yeah,
Philly thing.
this is
You know, being a Philly sports fan, it's funny. It's funny. It seems like Philly sports fans don't have any patience. They'll boo when things don't go their way. But you know what? Philly sports fans have a heck of a lot of patience because we're used to having a lot of teams that aren't very good most of the time. So it's it's usually a lot of years between championships and a lot more patience than they get credit for, I think, and loyal as they come. So
yeah, I could only imagine what that stadium, what Citibank would be like if
oh, pennant race.
they made in
Oh
the
my
playoffs.
goodness. It would be bananas. Yes. I mean, I remember just recently, a little over a decade ago when they won that World Series in 2008. It was bananas there. I mean, it
Okay,
just yeah. So we'll get
I could
there.
only imagine it would be wild.
We'll get there. So Alec Bohm Foundation.org. People
Yep.
hopefully check it out. And like I said, I will see if I can get some more people pointed your way and keep this rolling. Best of luck.
We appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and get the foundation's name out there a little bit more. And yep, please visit, see if there's something you like, donate.
Absolutely.
We
If
appreciate
you're
it.
ever do they come? I didn't even look at the schedule. Do they come down here to Houston this year, the Phillies, or not? I don't even know. I'll have to
They
look at the
played
schedule.
Rangers for two, and then I think they added the Houston series on at the end of the schedule. So I think they go down to Houston the first week of October, maybe.
Would you make the trip down here to Texas
Yeah,
if
we're
you
coming down to the Rangers game, and then we'll be down for the Houston series.
when's the games up in Arlington? When are they?
Oh, Gosh, when are they're in June, aren't they? I think. Let me double check my schedule
I can
here.
check. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Like I said, I know we go out of the country for a couple weeks, but my wife goes before I will.
21st and 22nd in
Okay.
Vegas.
I'll still be here. I'll see if I can get up there and maybe knock on your travel home
Knock
door,
on
and
the bus door. Yeah.
I will let you know if I can make it up there. It's not that far. It's only about maybe 2.5 3 hours from me. I'm north of Houston, about maybe 30 40 minutes. So it's about 3 hours, 3.5 hours usually from downtown Houston to Dallas. So it's not that far away. So I'll see if I can make it up there if the
More
Phillies
crazy traffic.
when they come that close. I have to at least try to make the effort. I know whenever they come to Houston to play the Astros, I have to go to a game because I'll be the only Philly fan in there usually.
Yeah, that's kind of like us. Sometimes there's not a lot of Philly fans there.
What do you do? You just roll on up to into the parking lot? Do they have an RV spot in the?
We usually we're parked like here. We're in Clarksboro at a KOA campground. So
Cool.
we leave the bus here, and then we drive the car. We tow a car, so then we drive the
Oh,
car
you
up to
do?
the field.
Okay. All right.
So
Cool.
that'd be the
Cool.
same thing. We usually find a place as close as we can to where they're playing, and park there, and then head drive to the game.
All right,
So,
Dan. This is a lot of fun. Best of luck. Safe travels. Go Phillies, and best of luck to Alec as well. And stay
yeah,
safe.
appreciate it. God bless.
All right, man. Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks.